Orlando Brown is again exposing the dark side of Hollywood and revealing how he escaped Hollywood's hell and sacrifices.
People got smoked, people got kidnapped, a lot of people got fucked off behind Hollywood, bro.
Orlando Brown is one of many former child stars who barely managed to survive the evil side of the entertainment industry, and his exit from the spotlight came at a huge cost.
You got a warrant for your arrest.
Can I put on my headset? What is this?
Who the hell came from my goddamn door?
What is this?
Orlando has been dealing with many personal issues over the years, and at one point fans were worried he wouldn't make it.
Look, my shit right over there. I called the
Look at this circus clown.
It's whole blood.
Go ahead. Work for them on the corner.
Sock me out. Sock this
Look at this nigga dirty
out.
ass feet.
Yep.
This bum ass nigga.
But Orlando is still around, and though he's no longer part of the industry, he recently decided to open up about the dark things he witnessed while working as a child actor. And while some fans believe Orlando is not mentally well and that we shouldn't take everything he says seriously, others are convinced Orlando has to pretend he's not well so he doesn't get sacrificed. So what exactly did Orlando reveal about Hollywood sacrifices?
I just think that, people just need to realize what they're looking at when they're watching the television. Everything is right in front of you. The revolution was televised, and don't nobody give a shit.
Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, Disney actor Orlando Brown was on top of the world. Between 2001 and 2007, he was a regular on not one, but 3 Disney shows simultaneously: The Proud Family, Fillmore, and That's So Raven. Born in 1987 in Los Angeles, Orlando was just 8 years old when he made his acting debut on the big screen in the comedy Major Payne with Damon Wayans. After joining Disney in the early 2000s, Orlando quickly became a fan favorite, and his role as Eddie Thomas on That's So Raven is still one of the most memorable Disney characters of that era. That's So Raven became the highest-rated original show in Disney's history and the first Disney-produced series to reach 100 episodes. However, as the actors were starting to age beyond the show's high school setting, Disney decided to end its run, and the last episode aired in November 2007. Orlando then decided to focus on his music career. However, the moment he left Disney, everything started to go downhill. The same year That's So Raven ended, Orlando was arrested in Houston and charged with misdemeanor marijuana possession. He was released on bond shortly after, but this was just the beginning of his struggles. Orlando's music career never really took off, and he kept getting into trouble with the law. In 2011, Orlando was arrested for DUI in Hollywood while driving with his pregnant girlfriend, and at this point, it was clear Orlando was struggling with severe substance issues. Less than 2 years later, Orlando was arrested again on DUI charges, and since he already failed to follow various court orders related to previous arrests, the judge sentenced him to 180 days in jail. But things just kept going from bad to worse, and in July 2014, an audio recording surfaced of Orlando threatening to unalive an unnamed woman and her family.
Orlando, God is crazy, nigga. I'll kill you, your mama, your daughter, and everybody.
Orlando's rep insisted this wasn't Orlando's voice on the audio tape, while Orlando later claimed the woman was a stalker who was excessively texting. He was later booked for disturbing the peace, however, he wasn't charged as there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute him. In the meantime, Orlando managed to secure a small cameo in the 2015 blockbuster Straight Outta Compton, as well as a supporting role in the drama American Bad Boy opposite Cat Williams. In 2015, Orlando also appeared on The View for a That's So Raven cast reunion, and he seemed to be in good spirits.
All right, please welcome Annalisa Vanderpool and Orlando Brown.
Moment, it really did seem that Orlando had decided to get his life back on track, but sadly his career never recovered and his problems just kept getting worse. In February 2016, Orlando was arrested again after a public altercation with his then-girlfriend and was eventually arrested after he failed to appear on his scheduled court date. Many fans took pity on Orlando because it was obvious he was dealing with a lot of unresolved trauma on top of his substance issues, and sadly, no one was able to give him the help he needed. When Orlando was released from jail later that year, his family and friends staged an intervention and convinced him to go to rehab. But sadly, he left the program after just 1 week, and shortly after, a video resurfaced showing Orlando walking down a street barefoot and carrying a box of wine while a man threatens to knock him out if he comes near his home. And then in December 2018, Orlando appeared on Dr. Phil and made a number of bizarre claims, including he was Michael Jackson's son, and that he had 4 children, but he wasn't entirely sure what their names were.
My father was Michael Jackson, the great Michael Jackson.
Your father was Michael Jackson.
I gotta figure that one out, but if I had to name him anything, it'd be John.
Orlando also told Dr. Phil that he'd been sober for 4 years. However, it was obvious to everyone that he was still fighting his demons. Orlando's mental state seemed to be getting progressively worse, and he started dropping hints that he used to date Raven Simone and making crude comments about her in interviews.
I mean, I told you in the first interview, I mean, she gave me, and then I gave her some, yeah.
Orlando then dropped a song claiming that Raven aborted his baby. However, Raven refused to even entertain these allegations.
Back to That's So Raven though. What the hell is up with that madman Orlando Brown? Last year he had put a video saying he got you pregnant, abortion. What the hell is going on?
Well, you know, the new show Raven's Home airs Friday nights at 8 o'clock. So that's what happened. That's what happened there. I'm not gonna answer that, girl. I'm not gonna go there.
Orlando also debuted a very badly done tattoo of Raven's face on his neck, but once again, Raven refused to comment on Orlando's antics. Around the same time, reports emerged that Orlando was homeless and deep into his addiction. But how did Orlando end up like this? Because it's truly heartbreaking to think that someone can have so much potential and end up completely broken. Well, here's where we get to the most disturbing part of the story. Orlando recently went on an interview spree, and he made a series of shocking claims about Hollywood's sacrifices and other dark practices going on in the entertainment industry. Now, before we get into what Orlando said, we should point out that based on Orlando's behavior in these new interviews, it's very possible he's still dealing with substance and some type of mental health issues. However, some fans recently started saying that Orlando is just acting crazy in interviews because he knows it will make the interviews go viral, and that's the only way he can get the message across and expose Hollywood without getting sued or worse. So what exactly did Orlando reveal about the evil side of the industry? Well, to start off with, during his recent appearance on the Cam Capone News podcast, Orlando was asked about the dark side of Hollywood, and he said that the truth is even scarier than most people think.
There's a lot of things that will make you buckle, bro. They make you buckle, bro.
Orlando then went on to say that people in the industry sacrifice their families all the time. However, he also said he can't go into any details because then he would be risking his own life.
And people done lost their families, bro. People done lost their kids and shit. A lot of stuff done happened.
But Orlando didn't stop there. A couple months later, he appeared on Cam Capone News again and made bombshell claims about the industry. One of the topics Orlando discussed was the death of Migos rapper Takeoff, and he claimed Takeoff faked his own death.
Takeoff is Aaron Dotson, and he's very well. He's okay.
So Takeoff faked his death?
Yeah.
Orlando was then asked to elaborate on this, and here's how he responded.
He's ready for a different form. It's not a crime if you are going to a different form. People make decisions, bro, based off of things that they have went through. People make decisions based off of things they're tired of. People make decisions off of being able to travel the world, and they come to realization that, hey, you know what? Maybe this ain't for me no more. And they don't have a way out.
But see, when Orlando was asked to comment on Kanye West's recent claims about his mother Donna being sacrificed, Orlando started trolling the interviewer.
Like, I'm married to Donda West. So, if I'm married to Donda West, then how can she be dead? Did that answer your question?
And while some fans are now saying this proves Orlando is either high or mentally ill and we shouldn't take him too seriously, there are also a lot of people who think Orlando is just pretending that he's not all there because he knows what can happen to people who expose the industry. One fan commented, "Notice he was talking sense until they asked that sacrifice question. It was intentional. He knows what he's doing. He just doesn't want to die. He went there because he can't talk about certain things," another person added. "And if you say part truths mixed with confusion, we, the listeners, might class him as crazy, and he won't be killed by the elites. He wants to keep his head while sneaking in bits of truth, but the sacrificing is a big deal to those psychopaths." So what do you make of all of this? Is there any truth to Orlando's claims about Hollywood sacrifices? Let us know what you think in the comments, and if this story shocked you, make sure to check out this next video.